All right, I got it full of coolant. Just kind of checking, got the new hose like I said on there. I plugged in the heater, the tank heater that I put on the side. Not that I would really need it right now, but I wanted to make sure. So when I put that on last year, plugged it in, and this is where it comes in up here. It would heat the water up in that hose, and that was it. It wasn't transferring any heat to the engine. And I figured that that had to do with whatever was going on with the thermostat. So I've had it plugged in here now for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. When I had it plugged in last winter, I had it plugged in for like 12 hours, and it none of this was warm. And it's maybe been 5 minutes now, and this is already warm, and you can feel it transferring down into the engine. So it has already taken care of that issue. Another issue that I had was I could not get any flow going up into my cab heater. So I'm hoping it fixes that as well, with that being stuck open. But I just wanted to let you know on that. I was just climbing underneath because this thing sat a lot before I got it. I was just climbing underneath and kind of pulling the drain plugs to see if I got any moisture in any of the hydraulic at all. I did one and there was nothing in there. That one looked good, but I got to do the other ones yet. But I won't bore you with that. It's pretty hard to get video down there, but figured since it's been sitting here for quite a while without moving, it'd be a good time to check them. But we'll come back once I'm going to leave it plugged in for a while and stuff. We'll see if I got time today or tomorrow. We'll fire it up and make sure that thermostat's working like it should. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's March 14th today. We're supposed to be hot today, like 70 degrees, and then we're getting a storm coming through, and then it's supposed to cool back off down into the 40s. So our taste of summer is over for a little while. But what I'm going to work on now, I got the 806. I had it running yesterday. We ran it around quite a bit, got feeder wagon with it, and went and did some other stuff, drove it around, and it's warming up now like it should. The temp gauge is working, so that I'm happy with all that. The only thing that's not working is I don't have heat to the cab. So either that heater core is plugged or it's just airlocked. But I'm not too worried about messing with that right now. I can deal with that a different day. If it's plugged, it's plugged. I could always put in a different style heater or whatever, but it could very possibly just be airlocked too, so might have to bleed that out. But I got the hood off it yet, just that way I could see if I had anything leaking or whatever. I did put the muffler back on it versus the straight pipe. I actually think this sounds a little bit better with the muffler on it than with the straight pipe, but maybe if it was turboed it would be a little different, but we'll see. Not a huge deal. That muffler, that's the one that was on it when I got it. It's in good shape yet, so yeah. So right now I got it. I actually plugged it in last night. I just wanted to not that it needed to be, it's plenty warm, but I wanted to see how well this heater was working. You know, if it's left plugged in for a while. I plugged it in this morning, and it seems to be heating up pretty nice. So that's good. That's nice to have that working. But anyway, I'm hoping to haul a little manure today, clean out some more heifer pens. This is that new Holland spreader I was talking about. We bought this last year, and the issue that we had was this sprocket was tipped in and it kept walking the chain off. And I thought that the shaft that the sprocket sits on was bent, but actually what it wound up being was this part of the frame here that this bolts to was actually twisted. And the more we got looking at it, both sides were kind of that way. So we hammered them back as straight as we could, and I think I've got it running pretty true. Paul was here helping me last night. But then we were running the chain. Now this spreader, the guy I got it from, had put some different flights in it out of a different spreader. And they're a nice flight. They're good and heavy, and maybe they were even new ones. I'm not sure. But there's a couple original ones in here yet, and a couple that were kind of welded together. But as I was watching the thing run around, I noticed that where it comes across the frame here, those newer flights that he put in, the angle iron was hooking on the frame where the frame goes in. Of course, it's doing that on the same side, and then it would pop up. And I'm kind of wondering if that's not why these bent, because them flights were getting wedged between the V of the frame. So I think that's maybe the issue. So I think what I'm going to do is take my grinder with a cutoff wheel and kind of just cut an angle off of each side of these, and see if that takes care of that. Otherwise, I don't know what else would have bent those side metal like that. Other than that's the only thing I can see that's different. So that's what I'm going to work on now, is doing that. There is actually a couple flights in here that are like that one there. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually twisted a little bit and the chain is up. That I think could also be from that hitting. So I think I do have some laying around that I could replace that, or I could maybe even straighten it. These are usually really hard steel, so they can be a little hard to straighten. But I'm going to get my grinder out with the cutoff wheel and see if we can trim some of these up and see if that makes a difference. Well, there, I took a pretty good angle off of there. Hopefully it's enough. It wasn't catching by much, so that one I didn't do because that's the right flight for in here, so it's a lot shorter. So I just got to go and do the other sides and then run the chain around and do the other ones on that side that are funky. Well, all right, I got all them cut off on both sides that needed to be. I was able to get the twist out of that one that was twisted up. It actually twisted back pretty nice, so that's good to have that back straight. So now I'm going to fire up the 806 here, and then we can run this chain around and see how many are on the bottom that need to be trimmed off. I don't think it's all of them, but there is a few. So all right, got the tractor running, got the spreader running, just bringing all those flights around. I got to replace this front too, but I've got a parts spreader like this that I think has a good front, so I'll be changing that here in the near future also. All right, I got the last of them trimmed off. I just used the torch to finish them off. I wanted to check here where this frame angles in now and make sure that they're going to clear. This one is one that was already, that's a factory one, so I know that one's good. This one coming up is one that I cut off. It still hit a little bit there, but it was a lot better. that's what happens. That's what they were doing before, is it hooks that frame and then it pulls it in. Alright, here comes one that I cut off with the grinder. And ones I cut with the torch were pretty rough, so I smoothed them up a little bit with the grinder, but they still hit the frame, but with that angle, they seem to glide over it pretty nice. Yeah, that one just went smooth. I'm just going to run it around here again until the ones that I torch cut come back and see if I got to smooth them up anymore. Yeah, that's much better. They just ramp right up there nice. I'm sure that's what happened when they had them other flights in there. They would just jam in between the frames just like a wedge, and then that's why the mounts for those idler sprockets were twisted. So I'm gonna let this make a round, and then maybe we'll see if we can haul out a little manure with it. All right, we got a load loaded up. I didn't load it up super full, probably about 3/4 of a load, I guess, just in case that chain gives us trouble. But I think it'll be all right now the way it was going around. So Paul's gonna take it out and spread it off. We'll go see how it works. That seemed to work really good. Spread out nice. The only thing, I had the spreader set on high speed, and maybe I should have had it set on low, just so we could make it to the end of the field, because we made it about maybe 3/4 of the way. But this spreader's geared a lot different than my other one. That one only has 1 speed, but yeah, it worked really good. So we'll go back and maybe get another load. Well, while I went to work, Justin and Paul got busy hauling manure out of here. Got this all cleaned up nice, the back part done too, and I got it bedded when I got home. This is all that chopped straw from that stuff we bagged, so that worked pretty nice. So with this nasty weather coming, they'll have a good place to get in. They got an automatic waterer in here, so they can all get at that. I didn't get any video of Justin hauling manure, but they were running both spreaders, and with the one with the 1256 and one with the 806. So we'll go and interview him and see how that went. So you and Paul got all the manure cleaned out of the barn today, huh?
Yep.
Then you used, so I had the 1256 on the Minnesota spreader, and then the 806 on this New Holland, and then you were running both spreaders?
Yeah, I'd pull them up in there, and then Paul would back them in, and he'd load them.
Oh, okay, and then you took off with the full one.
Yep.
Now you said you got stuck?
Yeah, I'd say the 806, there was a dip down in the cornfield we were spreading in, and the mud, it looks really dry. It looked perfectly dry, plus it was covered with corn stalks, and I went in there there, it sank right away. It didn't get super stuck. Paul was able to get it out without pulling the tractor out. But I didn't want to try and get it out because I figured I'd just bury it even more.
Well, that's good. That'll happen. I've been stuck plenty of times. So Justin is the first one to get the 806 stuck.
It's actually the second time I've actually gotten the tractor stuck.
Oh.
Because I was at 8:30, I got stuck that time.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, okay, so you were hauling both. So this spreader we did a bunch of work to. Must have been working okay, huh?
Yeah, it didn't walk off or anything.
Oh, good. I think trimming those flights up like I did, I think that must have helped a lot. Well, that's awesome. Now we got that all cleaned out. It's supposed to be nasty weather. We're talking even maybe some hail tonight, and then the temperatures are supposed to kind of drop. So definitely nice to get that out. Now the big question. You were running the 1256 and the 806. Which one do you like better?
I don't know. It's hard to choose a favorite because they're all really good.
So we want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. God bless.